Love him or hate him, John Cena defined an entire era of WWE. For over 2 decades, Cena was the face of the company. But a hero is only as good as the villains who stand in his way. Here are John Cena's greatest ever rivalries. Unlike many of John Cena's greatest rivals, his 2015 clash with Kevin Owens didn't center around the World Championship, but it was some of his most compelling work. During Cena's weekly US title open challenges, he welcomed all challengers, from seasoned veterans to rising stars. Rather than answering the challenge in a traditional way, Kevin Owens made an immediate impact by blindsiding John Cena, setting up their first encounter at Elimination Chamber. In a shocking result, Kevin Owens pinned John Cena clean in a nearly 20-minute match. Although Cena would eventually settle the score with victories in their next two premium live events, one of which was for the United States Championship, the rivalry was far from one-sided. The trilogy showcased incredible chemistry, with Kevin Owens looking like a main event star. This feud was proof of Cena's rare ability not just to win, but to elevate his opponents in the process. By the end, Cena had won the series, but Kevin Owens emerged as a top-tier talent, cementing this rivalry as one of the most important of his WWE career. The Samoan bulldozer Umaga tore through WWE's roster until his path inevitably crossed with John Cena, the reigning WWE champion. On the surface, it may have seemed like another typical Super Cena versus Monster Heel storyline, but in reality, Cena hadn't faced many dominant giants, and this rivalry played a huge role in establishing him as a believable, resilient babyface. The two collided at back-to-back pay-per-views in early 2007, first at New Year's Revolution, and then in an unforgettable last man standing match at the Royal Rumble. The second encounter is regarded as one of the greatest matches of John Cena's career. Though their feud was relatively short-lived, it left a lasting impact. Cena vs Umaga delivered thrilling, hard-hitting matches and remains one of the most fun and surprisingly impactful rivalries of the mid-2000s. John Cena spent much of 2014 locked in psychological warfare with Bray Wyatt. For many fans, Bray Wyatt was the fresh, captivating presence that WWE needed in the wake of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan's exits. He felt like a future cornerstone of the company, but Cena refused to let the darkness win. Critics argue that Cena's repeated victories over Bray Wyatt hurt his aura and stalled his rise as a top star. Their feud produced some of the most memorable moments of the year, with Bray Wyatt's haunting mind games clashing against Cena's never give up spirit. And while the original story may not have ended in Wyatt's favour, fate brought them back together years later. At WrestleMania 36, the surreal Firefly Funhouse match flipped the script entirely. This time, Wyatt finally dismantled Cena in one of WWE's most inventive and unforgettable matches ever, leaving fans with a lasting image of Cena's downfall at the hands of the monster he once overcame. During John Cena's reign of dominance in the WWE, AJ Styles was carving out his own legacy elsewhere. From TNA to New Japan, AJ Styles built a reputation as one of the best wrestlers in the world. But few believed he'd ever step foot in the WWE, let alone cross paths with John Cena. That all changed in 2016, when the two finally stood face to face. Inside the ring, their chemistry was undeniable. Across 8 months, they delivered a trilogy of classics, later adding a fourth showdown on SmackDown in 2018. AJ Styles stunned fans by winning their first 2 encounters, a huge statement for longtime fans who had followed his journey outside of WWE. Then, in the third match at the 2017 Royal Rumble, Cena finally evened the score, capturing his 16th World Championship in the process. It was a rivalry that lived up to the hype, producing unforgettable matches and proving that even in the later years of his career, John Cena could still deliver magic. Spanning across 3 WrestleManias, the rivalry between John Cena and The Rock brought together 2 of the biggest icons in wrestling. Marketed as once in a lifetime showdown, it didn't take long for that tagline to be broken, because when a match is this monumental, WWE couldn't resist running it back. The feud was set in motion after WrestleMania 27, building to the first epic clash at WrestleMania 28, and ultimately concluding at WrestleMania 29. What made the rivalry even more compelling were the real-life parallels that were woven into the story. Cena's loss to The Rock in 2012 came during the same year as his divorce, with WWE framing it as a complete unraveling of his personal and professional life. 1 year later, the narrative came full circle, as Cena redeemed himself, defeating The Rock on the grand stage to reclaim the WWE Championship. It was more than just a match. It was a generational clash between 2 legends, amplified by real-world stakes, and it left fans with far more than they were originally promised. Looking back at John Cena's debut, it's a moment burned into wrestling history. It was the night he declared ruthless aggression before stepping up to the Olympic hero Kurt Angle. Looking back, there may not have been a better choice of opponent to introduce Cena to the WWE fans. Across the next few years, Kurt Angle became the best wrestler in the world. From their first clash in 2002 to battling over the WWE Championship in 2005, the 2 shared 4 major pay-per-view singles matches. Each one pushed John Cena further, developing him into the star that WWE needed. Kurt Angle's role in that journey can't be understated. He was instrumental in helping John Cena transition from a promising rookie to a main event player, paving the way for the 2-decade run that followed. John Cena and Brock Lesnar came up through Ohio Valley Wrestling, but it wasn't until 2012 that their paths truly crossed on the grand stage. After a few brief encounters years earlier, Lesnar's shocking return the night after WrestleMania 28 set the stage for one of Cena's most brutal rivalries. Fresh off his loss to The Rock, Cena was blindsided by Brock Lesnar on Raw, instantly creating must-see television. Their first major showdown came at Extreme Rules 2012, and it's still regarded as one of their best. 2 years later, the feud reignited at SummerSlam 2014, where Lesnar dismantled Cena in shocking fashion to win the World Heavyweight Championship, before closing the trilogy at Night of Champions. Though their matches were limited, every encounter felt seismic. Lesnar's raw power against Cena's resilience created a rivalry that few could match, cementing their battles as unforgettable chapters in WWE's history. CM Punk has always been the complete opposite of John Cena, and that's exactly what made them such compelling opponents. Punk spoke his mind, never following the script, while Cena embodied the ultimate WWE loyalist. The clash of personalities translated perfectly in the ring. Their encounters produced epic matches full of high-level wrestling and captivating storytelling, drawing fans in every time. Even today, in 2025, the buzz around their legendary Elimination Chamber bout proves just how enduring and impactful this rivalry remains in the minds of wrestling fans. The rivalry between John Cena and Edge began in 2006, when Cena became the first victim of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Over the next 5 years, the two clashed repeatedly at the top of WWE, battling for both the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. Their encounters even included a WrestleMania 25 triple threat match with The Big Show in 2009. Their feud was intensely personal. Edge pushed boundaries. He even attacked John Cena's father during a storyline, adding real-life edge to the drama. And when it came to championship symbolism, Edge left his mark by having later throw John Cena's iconic spinner belt into a river, introducing his own one in the process. This was a rivalry that combined fierce competition with deeply personal storytelling, and it made one of the most memorable chapters of John Cena's career. When John Cena and Triple H were at the top of WWE, their first singles encounter came at WrestleMania 22, where Triple H tapped out to John Cena. Over the years, they faced each other in 5 more one-on-one matches, including a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Cena and Triple H were the perfect babyface versus heel pairing, with Triple H serving as the ideal foil for John Cena's never give up spirit. Beyond singles competition, they battled in tag team matches, triple threat matches, and handicap matches, making their rivalry feel like a constant struggle for supremacy. Every encounter reinforced their status as two of WWE's all-time greats. Of all John Cena's greatest rivals, Randy Orton is the one he has faced more than anyone else. The two clashed countless times, on pay-per-views, television, and even live events. So much so that some fans felt the rivalry had already run its course. Yet every time the feud resurfaced, most recently in 2025, audiences still erupted with excitement. Their chemistry in the ring was undeniable. At that point in their careers, they were the perfect enemies, and fans bought into every storyline. On top of that, their promo work consistently built anticipation for each showdown, making all other encounters feel larger than life.